CTR once again. We're rolling down the highway. We're headed for Rolla, Missouri. About a 3-hour trip. Got to go pick up my little boy. Another 3 hours back. So what we've managed to do is now we've got to drive down the road and be doing other things at the same time. These YouTube videos, they need edited, so if you can kind of show them, step it down a little bit. Yep, we're working on things. We keep trying to get a bunch of content edited up. We had a bunch of internet trouble over the last couple of months, and we're struggling to get videos loaded. We're getting it done faster and faster. They got some of our internet issues fixed, and we're going to make you some more content. We're going to get more and more involved in transport type monologues and stuff with you. More involved in my day's time, what I'm doing with these cars and so on. Some of the struggles I have to go over with it. And well, we'll drop off there for now, but plan on seeing some more content, more involvement in the cars, more presence. We're trying to get a bunch of our past tense video and still shots and stuff, so you can bring up the speed. We're trying to introduce our characters. We'll get you caught up in a minute, but our content's going to get better and better. CTR, I'm out. Yeah, CTR here. We've been welding up aluminum fuel tanks for a 55 Chevy wagon, and I've had the boy out here stripping his grandpa's old truck that got total smush-ated runt. But he's got her stripped down. Look at there. He's got the front clip off of it.
My eyeballs.
Took a hard hit there. Might have mangled some things. That's alright though. We got another frame and stuff for it. We're gonna have us a cab picking up and a bed picking up here in the next couple of days. We'll get them loose. I think the cab's free, other than maybe a little bit of bed wiring and stuff for the tail lights, and maybe a backup wire. I can't remember how them wire up, but we're getting ready to take her the rest of the way apart, start setting it back on a new frame, then we'll start fixing from there. CTR, I'm out. Hi all, CTR here. Been a hell of a day. Done yanked the transmission out of the 4-wheel drive, built it, put it back. Took like 3 hours, but tires me out. I'm tired of that crap. We're building hot rods, but it was my buddy, so I had to kind of take care of it. We had a horrible bad leak up front of that thing. I'm pretty sure a converter has a hole in it. So I'll be fine. It ain't leaking now, and it's fixed. But we had to get the old quick and dirty car out of the ham shop. I did a little bit of work on it amongst rainstorms. You couldn't have heard me if I'd have been talking, so we didn't get it all done. But put front clip back on it. Lower balance. Hood hinges, they was froze up. They plumb rusted down. We got them all lubed up. Look at there. It's like brand new. It does start and run. I do not have the torque converter hooked up yet, so I've got to plumb the cooler lines on that Glide. And if it don't want to work when I get done, I'll shove a 350 turbo in it. It's built to the moon, about stage 3. We'll stick a big stall in her, and we'll see what this little piece of shit will do. In the meantime, I'm still waiting on the title to come back for this car. So I'm gonna jump back on the old little red wagon for Keith Harper and finish up my wiring on it. It's just all but ready to start. I need to put a fuel cell in it, some glass, and finish the wiring, and it ought to just rock on down the damn road. It's already got new disc brakes and stuff on it, 4L60, 5.3-liter LS motor in it. Got a new radiator shit for it. We're going to clean her up, put her together, and see if it wants to rotate up and down the road. I'm CTR, I'm out. Oh, CTR again. We have been busy. And the little red wagon, and boy, don't you look good. I throwed me some old torque thrust 2s on there. Painted centers, and the old powder coating was getting rough, so I'm wire brushing that crap off. We'll get them cleaned up and we'll repaint the centers and polish the outsides. It'll be a good looking rig. I just throwed them on here to make sure all my clearances. I have to use spacers on the front because of that 317 kit is not the same for that disc brake as what I normally do. It's all wired up. There's my transmission shifter cable. I've got to rig that up on the steering column here after a while, and I've got to run my transmission cooler lines, and I've got to run my fuel lines and hook up the battery and pick out the wires I need out of the C2 plug for turning the injectors and coils on and powering the ECM. I'll hang my bracket and stuff after I get the core support and the radiator put in it. It's easier to work on it. My tensioner pulley is froze up. The pulley's good, but the tensioner is junk. I have to get one of those tomorrow to put on it. I didn't have a spare one. I usually keep one on the shelf. Now, that's not all we've been doing. In the meantime, I've been teaching that little boy how to TIG weld, and the old lady how to TIG weld, and letting her practice. And so we've been making some beads, learning things on this stainless steel. And not too bad. Not bad for beginners. The boys had about 30 minutes of practice, and then the old lady's maybe had 2 hours. And boy, she's putting the pretty colors to that stuff, ain't she? Ain't nothing wrong with that. She can weld on my damn car anytime she wants to. I don't weld quite as pretty as most people, but I weld really well. I tend to weld more hot, and stainless is something that it's a lot of control on heat on this 18 gauge especially, man. It's just either hot or cold. So I don't weld every day like I used to, and it's the difference between being a welder and being somebody that can weld. I've got some friends, I poke fun at them all the time. Breadstick Ricky types, you know. I'm the new sheriff in town. No, I don't give a shit. Everybody's got their own skill set. I've got many gifts, and they do too. And it's a matter of, you know, what do you do every day? I do a vast amount of things every day. But my friend Tyler Estes from Estes Steel Construction, I'm gonna call him Tyler Estes Incorporated all the time just to mess up his business, because needling people is what I do. But I'm gonna lift you up here and grab a light, and we'll show you what we've been putting in this side. And then I'll drop it back down and show you the top side. CTR, I'm back with the little red wagon. I've got it up in the air. And as you can see, we've got us a new stainless tank in here. It's not been polished or cleaned, just doing some fitment stuff. And it'll be dandy. It's about a 28 gallon tank. I think the dimensions on it's like 24 by 28 by 8 inches deep. And that 8 inches deep is that magic number to work a specific fuel pump assembly that I use out of a 2002 Yukon XL. And I'm gonna let you back down while I talk. And I use a 2002 Yukon XL or a Tahoe or something along that lines. I want it to be 2002 back so it has a return line. I don't like drive-by-wire stuff personally. I use it some. It's not my preference. It's a little more work to run a second line back there, but I like the drivability standards better from a drive-by cable setup. It's my personal preference. So you guys are doing, I better let my thing down. Safety first. But this is what it'll look like from the top side. I've got, I use a whole top out of a tank from my donor vehicle. I just cut the whole top out of the plastic so that you can set a factory style fuel pump in. They've got them on every part shelf in America, you know, they're common as dirt. It's not terribly expensive and you don't have to wait on it. If you're driving these things as, you know, a daily driver or whatever, by all means, let's put some modern parts on it that are easy to get. They do the job. It's what the engine was designed to run with in the first place, so obviously let's use that. I do not clean these up terribly bad for a reason. I try to keep to where the mud and dirt and any road debris, rain, that sort of thing doesn't wash up around the pump. I could trim this flange off a little more and you can make it pretty. I whacked it out with Sawzall. Like I said, I set this tank back in here for fitment for my new hangers and cross braces and stuff. And it's in the hole. It's where it's going to be. But now I have to do my cleanup, so don't be judging my handiwork yet. I'll probably leave this plastic flange kind of rough. But like I said, I try and keep the dirt and stuff away from it. And I use some JB weld on top of the stainless, and then I screw through the plastic and it bonds together. It's gas proof, everything else proof, and I've never had one leak yet. If you've got a better way other than, you know, buying some bungs, some weld-on bungs or something from like Motion Raceworks, by all means, if that's what you need to do for your benefit, great. I do it this way because this is the best way I know how to use that style fuel pump that's available everywhere. A lot of times I don't have to buy one, you know, it comes in the donor vehicle. It saves me some cost of putting something together. I want to put a better product on it later, so be it, I will. But my sending unit, everything's there and it's already paid for. So when I'm done, I scrap the truck, and whatever it brings for scrap weight, great. Now maybe my buddy needs a few parts, a door or something off of it. That's why we do it this way. I'm doing this stuff in bulk, and it's not my personal drivers. It's putting one back together, and then somebody else will end up buying these. The few that I sell, somebody else will buy them. They're moving, they're driving, they're in good enough shape that they can handle it. You know, maybe they don't have the resources that we've got here, and it gives them something to start with, and they can still drive it and enjoy it, and it's safe to drive down the road, and that's pretty cool to me. I get to put these things back on the road, and somebody can drive them until they find a better way or shine it up a little more on their own custom. You know, they can paint the interior, do the interior as they want, and they don't have to spend $8 million to go have a nice car, and they don't have to have every tool in the world to put these things back together. It gives them something to start. But anyway, here's what we're doing, if I can see what I'm doing. It's just basically a flat stainless tank. We put some angle down here for it to set in, front and back, and I've attached this to the frame, so it's attached to the frame, not the body. If you want to set the body off to do some repairs or change mounts or whatever, you can do that, and the tank stays put. The fuel lines will run down the frame rail when I'm done. I'll come out of here and make my horseshoe over the side. My wires will lay over the side. My filler neck, I can snag it back together with a rubber hose and 2 hose clamps right back to the, this is a wagon, so I'm going to end up using a sedan filler neck, because I built these in a way that I could do that. The sedan filler neck does not come up here like the wagon. This is far forward of this brace, and I've trimmed this one out because I've customized where this is a little bit. It's kind of a prototype, and that's simple as pie, man. Some sheet metal self drillers through there, plenty of JB weld underneath it. Try not to run it off in the tank or it makes a mess. And then your fuel pump ring, you can just pull the fuel pump anytime you want. Like I said, you can trim a bunch of this crap off. You don't need it. You can slick it down, make it shiny and pretty, but the truth is the spare tire hole is gone in this car. It's going to get a cap on it, so it's easy access. It'll have a cap over the top of this area so that you can roll the carpet back,
pop a few sheet metal screws out, pop the glue joint on your seam sealer, and change the fuel pump in a couple of minutes, you know. Easy, easy. That's what we want.
Hit it. All right. Howdy ho from CTR. Got a busy day going on a Sunday. We got the boy out here working on his grandpa's old pickup. We've got him a nice umbrella. He's taking all the bolts we can swipe back out of this old core support. Everywhere we can take a bolt out, we're going to keep every bolt, because we got a lot of putting back together to do and a lot of damage. It was LS swap. Man, what a waste. It's a hell of a smack mark. I got to cut the bumper bolts off with a torch or a grinder or something so we can get that pulled out of the way, so we can get to more bolts to try and disassemble the core support bolts for the mounts. We can't get to those the way it's setting. So we're going to get all the fenders unbolted, get the inner fenders out of them. We'll save whatever we can save. A lot of it's damaged. I mean, there's a hell of a dent right there in the old inner fender. We may have to buy new ones. We may be able to beat them back straight. Who knows? May have some good ones on a parts truck. I don't know. But that's what we're doing right this very minute, is we're trying to get things disassembled. We're going to get the cab off of this frame. We're going to get the bed off of this frame. We're going to set it on that frame. I've got to pull the transmission transfer case that's in it out, because this is a 4-speed truck and we're going to reuse the 4-speed. The transfer case has been knocked clean off the back of it. The front drive shaft pushed it clean off, broke the divider coupler out. It's shattered. I think I've got a buddy that's got me one found. I don't know if the transfer case is salvageable or not. It's intact, but I don't know if it's drove the bearings into it in a bad way or not. We'll have to put it together and find out. But if it is, it is. We'll go from there. But we're gonna get this thing assembled back together. One of my friends is hunting me down a front clip with a core support, and I have another parts truck found that I'm dickering on. I think I've got it bought. This weekend, and I haven't got a hold of the guy, but we'll find out about that a little later. And it's about an hour from here with the trailer for me to go get it. But that's what we're doing there. Now, yeah, it's a big pile of parts. We're saving every little piece. Now, I've also got a few other things going. We have, yes, we have a lot of things going. We have the old 63 together, and we got a big block in it that runs. I've got some new aluminum tall valve covers for it. They're cast aluminum. I want to say they're RPCs if I remember right. I've got a couple brake hoses left to put on this one, and I've got the front clip assembled back in it. I've got the front seat in it. Yeah, I've been having a little time critical issues, but we've got the front seat for it. It's all complete. I've got the new windshield in it. I've got the new rear seal in the back window in it. Basically, this car is assembled back together. I got to finish hooking up the gauge cluster and stuff for it, and a few other things. But I think that gets you caught up on here. I want to make a brake line, honey, and then we'll start in and show you what else we've been doing. Hang on. Oh, CTR again.
All right, we're still on a Sunday afternoon. I've done hit the green weenie, quick and dirty. I've hit the little red wagon. Now I'm gonna hit Mad Envy. I've never put a fuel cell in this car yet because I haven't had time to build one. Just, I got piled on. I mean, I've still got a brand new back bumper sitting here. Ain't that some pretties? Look at that. I've got all the new glass laying there in those boxes for old luck shot, windshield, side glasses, all that crap. I've got new seals for it. All in good time. It's rained and rained, and I'm trying to play catch up while the weather's good. Now, this is the tank that we built. I think Tyler Estes welded most of this one. I may have welded some of it. But I've got to cut a hole in the top of this lid plate for my fuel sending unit, just like I did that one. I'll size it out, and then I'll put some baffles in it, and there's baffles inside that stainless tank too. This one's going to be aluminum for her car. This is what I had laying here that day, and I need a fuel cell, and I'm tired of waiting to put one in it. So my welder friend, he's busy doing some other jobs right now, so I'm going to weld the rest of this myself, and he can blame it on me if he hung a pretty spot in a bead or a bad one. Either way, I don't give a shit. But we've got the filler neck, I think, already welded in this. Or maybe not. No, apparently I do not have a filler neck welded in this. I have got to weld a filler neck in this, and I've got to cut a hole in the top plate, and then I'll install this inside Mad Envy. She's pretty. Show the picture, woman. But anyway, that'll get my temporary fuel system unhooked, and it'll be handy. I got to put a radiator in it, and I may have to put a cord support in. I can't remember. I think there's one in it, but anyway, I've got to put a radiator in it and put water in the engine. It's just been moved around the yard here, in and out of the shop. Everything's honky-dory. Brakes are brand new. It's ready to go, so I've got to get that going because it's summertime. She wants to drive this thing. I want to drive my car too, but I always seem to be behind fixing everybody else's. Turbos, people. Turbos waiting to be installed. It's a horrible life I live at moments. But anyway, I'm gonna weld that tank up. I've got the stuff here to do it with, and I've got a donor tank out of, I believe it was a 2001 Tahoe. 4-wheel drive, nothing special, just run of the mill. And I'll show you what that fuel cell looks like. And you'll see why it's cut out the way it is, just the shape of the tank. And right here we go. Now I used this tank in a 67 short bed project a while back. I just threw it in the bed and lit it up, and I ended up selling this truck to somebody else that was gonna build a SEMA truck out of it. And I kept all the LS and everything out of it, and this fuel cell. And it's just a stock tank out of an 01, I believe. But if you see, it's recessed down around it, and I just trim that thing out. Cut it across here so any water that does happen to trap on it will have a place to run out. But that's why we do it that way. It's easy peasy, works well. I know that pump works because I drove the Tahoe. It was actually a nice rig, perfect leather, and air conditioner blew cold and rust free and slick. But I needed a donor, and that's what I could find, and it was inexpensive enough for me to buy it. Nobody wanted to pay that much more for it, so it's worth more to me dead than alive. That's why we do it, so we can do that with them. Ain't that cool, kids? Purdy, purdy. Old Sunshine likes this color. Man, look at that color in that. And the camera won't even begin to do it justice. Oh, CTR. I don't know if you've all caught up on it, but we've started the interior on this car. All my windlace is laying there in the seat. The headliner's laying in the seat. There's just some Del Rey handmade at CTR. We've got a new carpet kit from OEM Solutions, I think's the name of the place. And just moving on from there. She ain't far off. They don't have the vintage air in it, but it does have the rain gear in it right now. So you can drive in the rain. But we got to get some vintage air here for it and finish the interior out and get a fuel cell in it and the radiator and stuff like that. And I think the bugs are pretty well gone out of this thing. It lights right off. I do need to put a new starter on it. A solenoid or armature's got a dead spot and it clicks some of the time. I've got a brand new one laying in there for it. That's where we're at right now. Oh, wait a minute. We're not done yet. CTR still got more going on. My buddy wanted his upholstery done on his boat, so let me sign out and I'll show you about the upholstery shop's current activities. Hi all, CTR again. This is my buddy's boat. It's a Tahoe. Let's see what year is this thing roughly. It's got a tag on it somewhere. There it is. Looks like a 2014 Q5. Anyway, it's a Tahoe. And I've got the motor cover out of it. It's in the shop. This is what we had to work with. It's pretty rough shape. And we're not doing it back like it was. We're gonna clean this thing up and put the Miami Vice to it. See, we've already done our front seats. It's got a little dirt and crap on it, but parked it under the shade tree because it's pretty hot out here. It's about 90. But we've got to pull the side covers off and redo them still, both sides. I got to pull the captain's chairs out and do them. I got to pull these, and we've already got all the covers whooped out, the main blanks, and I'll show you what they look like here. Matter of fact, I think the motor cover is just about sewed up and ready to apply. I had to do a little custom repair work for the motor cover strut rods. Yeah, they were broke off and rotted away, and so I tigged up a piece of stainless and some stainless screws through it, and that'll work fine for bolting it back on. And we have motor covers. Where is all that stuff anyway?
Well, there's the motor cover on the sewing bench.
Yeah,
the back seat.
There's the lower back seats already stitched up. We haven't split it down to front and back, or bottom and back yet. Just some bolt cover. And the motor cover looks the same way. She just about got it ready. It cornered up for reapplying. It's got some round corners on it and had to put a couple pleats in it to make that line up. But that's what we do at CTR. And now we have some more Delray for old luck shot. I don't have time to put that in there right now, but it's made and it's there. Whose car's getting fixed first? CTR, I'm out.